Going to take up item 20, which is receive a briefing from the City of Austin regarding the Dog's Head development and a proposed tax increment reinvestment zone.
We're here to discuss provide a summary of the development agreement that the Austin City Council recently approved, and also review the proposed tax increment reinvestment zone, where we are requesting a participation from the county. So first and foremost, with this site, the Dog's Head site, it's just over 2,600 acres. It truly does represent a generational economic opportunity. The site is largely vacant. It has been used for mining for over 100 years, and there are single-digit folks living in the area. It's bounded by the Colorado River, US 183 and SH 130. Its location relative to downtown and the airport is also incredibly notable. And finally, it's a prime candidate for mixed-use hub, employment centers, other campuses, and sports and entertainment opportunities in an area that has struggled with development largely because of the airport overlay. But so we view this as an opportunity for both the city and the county to come together in a way that can create a very catalytic development in Southeast Travis County. Next slide. So a quick listing of the various community and economic benefits. So because of its location, because of its size, like I noted, it has the potential of being a major hub for commercial, retail, and residential. It also creates new revenue source opportunities for both the city and the county. But it's one of those situations where, but for the investment from the public side of things, we're not going to see those kind of revenue sources come to the table that we might otherwise. This really positions both municipalities to attract major development, major employers for our growing community. It also, because it is basically vacant because of all the mining that has taken place over the years, it is shovel ready. The developer has been doing reclamation of the site to make it ready to go for whomever wants to locate on that site. It also creates an opportunity for us to really collaborate on additional community benefits, amenities. There's significant economic potential at the site. It really is an opportunity also for us to address challenges around food and healthcare deserts in the area, create access to services that we might take for granted any given day for more developed areas of the community. The development agreement itself, and Trish can provide additional detail if there's questions from the body. It's a 45-year agreement between the city and the property owner. It utilizes today's land development code, except where modified by the agreement. It also includes commitments for creating a publicly accessible trail along the Colorado River, approximately 6 or so miles of trail. It also includes a commitment for affordable housing within the development. Now, if the TERS is not successful in its creation, the property owner does have the ability to disannex from the city's full purpose jurisdiction and be released from our ETJ. But that also would significantly and negatively affect the development potential and all of the services that might come along with it to serve the surrounding community. So for the case for a TERS, as you probably are aware, Chapter 311 of the Texas Tax Code that outlines all the requirements for a TERS, it notes that there must be a very clear but-for criterion where it's obvious, and through analysis, data analytics, and other means, that but for the tax increment reinvestment, without the public financing, the development would not occur in the reasonably foreseeable future. There is zero infrastructure on this site. So there really truly is a but-for aspect. So when you're looking at state law also, there's various criterion. I've listed a few here that are particularly applicable to the site, predominantly open or undeveloped. That is absolutely the case in this area. Its present condition impairs sound growth. There is zero utility infrastructure, water, wastewater, electric, drainage, no roadways except for just a couple small roads at this point. Also, it's not just an inadequate sidewalk or street layout. There are no sidewalks. There is no street layout at this time. So to kind of further that on the current conditions, like I noted, there's virtually zero infrastructure on site. And then there's the ongoing rehabilitation of the site due to the 100+ years of mining activity that has taken place. So how does a TERS make sense for this area? So as proposed, it would support approximately a third of the infrastructure needs on site. This, for a development of this size, 2,600 acres, that is the size of some small cities, small towns. So you are truly creating an entire city in this area. So in a situation like that, it would be an automatic requirement that there's public financing involved for things like this. So it makes sense here, but also through the TERS, by providing that public financing, it also increases the scale of development that can occur that supports our community. So facilitates over 12,000 units of housing, the commercial and retail use. It also, from a pure economic development perspective, it enables a variety of both permanent and temporary jobs through construction or through all the various commercial and retail facilities that would be on site. So we utilized Hyatt Brown as our consultant to conduct the economic and market analysis in accordance with state law. It provides a very strong rationale for the creation of a TERS. Conservative estimates are showing over $26 billion in property value by 2061 with the infrastructure investments. Without the public financing for infrastructure investments, that number plummets, and you will not see the kind of development that is needed to serve this area. Right now, the current value of the entire land area is approximately $17 million because it is empty. Per the development agreement, also per the city's tax increment financing policy, we do require a 20% affordable housing. So through the development agreement, they will automatically provide 10% of the units as affordable on site. The other 10% will be achieved through various mechanism tools that we have at in our toolbox, so to speak, to address those housing needs. The current proposal is a contribution rate at 80% for the city on our property and sales tax, and the request is 50% of property tax from the county. In that table below, I've broken out and this would be a 35-year TERS. Now, the development agreement is 45 years. The TERS would be 35 years. So I just want to make sure that there's clarity on the difference in the timeline. So with that 35-year time frame, these would be the contribution amounts as estimated over the life of the TERS. So that 50% contribution rate from the county equates to just under $650 million over the 35 years.
Which means also we add $649 million to our
Correct.
coffers.
Correct. So also with this TERS proposal, it will only be used for public infrastructure. The city also intends on creating a local government corporation for the management of the funds and the debt issuances. This is similar to how we handled the Miller development. The LGC board would include representatives from both from government as well as the Dogs Head representatives. Bonds would be secured by the incremental revenues and city appropriations, and bonds will not be issued until the revenues are wholly sufficient to support debt service. That is an important aspect to note, that the structure of the TERS would never allow a debt issuance until it is fully capable of doing so and supporting the debt service requirements. So we would not be stretching its capabilities beyond the revenues coming in. Our municipal advisor, PFM, which I understand is also the municipal advisor for the county, they have been a valuable partner in helping us evaluate and establish terms. TERS would then terminate December 31st, 2061. So there's been questions about what infrastructure investments would there be. It's an easy and difficult question to answer. So because this is a 45-year development agreement, it's an equally and longer delivery time frame for the development. What that actually looks right now is to be determined. The market, the community needs, feedback from various folks will help determine what actually happens on the site. Regardless, we know that there are significant infrastructure needs in the area. So roads, trails, multimodal connectivity, water, wastewater, and reclaimed, electric components, the distribution and substations, also various aspects of land management protection. They would be creating, right now there is no drainage infrastructure to speak of, so they would be creating those drainage channels, making sure they're addressing slope stabilization, erosion controls, and flood mitigation. And also, we've noted this before, the affordable housing requirement, 20% of the units will be affordable income restricted. Again, that first 10% is the responsibility of the developer, and that remaining 10% would be through a collaborative partnership between the developer and the city, utilizing things like LIHTC or similar to help achieve those remaining units. Next. I wanted to also highlight some of the benefits that are particularly, what I believe to be particularly meaningful to the county, that additional housing in general, plus the 20% affordable units, the opportunity to address those food and healthcare deserts, and access to just daily needs. And then the perhaps most important is the infrastructure plans relative to bridges. So there's at least 3, if not more, bridges envisioned to cross over the river, which significantly addresses connectivity and mobility for the surrounding area, the surrounding communities. And then, so the timeline, and we were going to be here yesterday, we're here today. The intent would be to come back on July 14th for any follow-up conversation and a proposed action from the court. If need be, we have a backup date of the July 21st meeting. On July 21st, we'd also be doing a work session briefing with our city council. They would be taking action on the 23rd. That 23rd is a significant date because that would be when we'd be fulfilling all of the state requirements relative to public hearings, the creating documents, and action on the preliminary project and financing plan. This fall is when the developer would come back to the council for consideration of the regulating plan, and then by the end of March in 2027 is when there would be action on the final project and financing plan, plus that creation of the local government corporation previously mentioned.